Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago, and across the globe. Welcome to Real Talk Corner. Hadassa, how are you?
Hi, I am fine, thank you. How are you, Esther?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Real Talk Corner, where conversation sparks change and every voice matter. On this beautiful Thursday evening, it is the 30th day of October. Oh my God, one more day for October to be finished in the year 2025. And yes, it has been a very interesting day for me, but I'm still alive and I'm thanking God for His breath in my lungs. And I'm so happy, even though she is so tired, she is on my co host, bubbly Hadassa Charles McLeod. Look how tired she looks. That face is still always bubbly. So, you know what? I'm happy to have her
Thank-
on. And I'm thankful that she's with me tonight. Yes, she have been missing in action, you guys, but we have to give her that break because work duty calls, right? So yes, we are in the midst of so many things is happening, and I think one of the things before she brings her greetings, we want to send our prayers out to our Jamaican colleagues and counterparts, our neighbor Jamaica. We see what Melissa did to them. Oh my God, it has been so horrifying. But we are praying for you guys in Jamaica, all my families and colleagues in Jamaica. Yes, I have a lot of families over there that carries my same surname. I am praying for you all, and you all can reach out to me and we see what could happen. But what I saw was very devastating. And my prayers, yeah, down to their hospitals and so on. But God is good. Keep trusting in Him despite whatever you may be going through at this time. Don't bawl, oh God, cry out, Father, help me. Don't just bawl, oh God, and don't curse and carry on. Father, help us. We need your help. And once you do that sincerely, know that help is going to come. Take some deep breaths, and I can't even tell you what else, because if I was in that position, I don't know how I would have responded, but I know that I would try to stay calm and just ask God for mercy and to send help. Yeah, so my darling, how are you?
Oh, thank you for that greeting, Esther. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. I am doing well, all things considered. I feel like I don't have anything to complain about. What is a little tiredness when I still have a roof over my head, when I am safe, when all my family and friends are safe? My heart goes out to our friends in Jamaica. That is the most devastating thing that I have ever seen. I really admire the Prime Minister, though Andrew Holness, in the face of all this devastation. He is saying that he's doing all that he can to mount a recovery. So we pray that the recovery will be fast, and we already know that our Prime Minister, gracious as ever, has already sent aid and goods and food to Jamaica. It may be small in the face of everything that they are facing, but we want the people of Jamaica to know that we stand with them, that we are thinking about them, that we are praying for them. People always say that God is a Trinity. I think what sets us apart from a lot of different islands is that no matter what differences, there are a lot of praying people in Trinidad and Tobago. And the only thing that I can say is that we have experienced the hand of God in His favor in protecting us and where we are in terms of, where the path or the trajectory of hurricanes pass. So yeah, that is what I wanted to say. My heart was really, really breaking for the people of Jamaica because the devastation is so great. But we will be doing, I'm sure, everything that we can to support them. No matter they kind of not talking to us right now because of everything that's going on, but that's okay. We are bigger than that, right?
I'm not even going to mention that, because when it comes to disaster, when it comes to life and death, you know, we have to forget about everything else. And of course, we saw
Indeed.
today that the Prime Minister she was at Flipdeco together with Foreign Minister and others, you know, ensuring, supervising that enough stuff get on those ships or plane, as the case may be, to send over to Jamaica. And we just need to let them know that they are in our prayers and we are constantly praying for them. It could be us tomorrow, never could tell, but we are here with you. You all are in our hearts. There's a lot of Jamaicans here in Trinidad. It is, you know, it is the CARICOM, and we are not selfish people. You know, you just have your head-ons and your hits and all of that. But at the end of the day, it's life. We are talking about is human beings. And our Prime Minister is one, I can tell you, with a big heart, a heart of gold. She never turns her back on anyone. As long as she can help, she is going to help. And that is who she is. More so for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. This is why when the opposition talking their foolishness, it upsets me, because this is not a woman who turn her backs on people, especially women and children and even the men. All right? So let us come together and let us see how much we can raise. Out of the little, we can still contribute to help our brothers and sisters over in the beautiful island of Jamaica. Yes, it has been a terrifying time for them in some areas. Got it worse than some areas, but of course, we are doing everything in our power, and I heard that America as well is doing whatever they can to send some relief, and I am certain that the other Caribbean islands would be doing so to help, because it's going to take a lot to, you know, get them back together again, get them back on their feet. It's going to be a lot. So we continue to pray.
With 6 confirmed deaths, Jamaicans are describing the passage of Hurricane Melissa as nothing short of a nightmare, with one local recounting terrifying moments as strong winds and rising floodwaters tore through his community.
Jamaica Prime Minister Andrew Holness says all energy will now be devoted to a strong recovery. In response to the unfolding humanitarian situation, Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander said the Prime Minister has directed that all necessary assistance be provided to the island.
Jesse Rounddale has the details.
As Hurricane Melissa moves into the Atlantic and begins to weaken, residents of Jamaica are struggling to comprehend the extent of the death and destruction she has caused. For Jamaican national Leon Crooks, the passage of Hurricane Melissa will forever be etched in his memory, a period of terror, chaos, and survival.
It's like a nightmare experience. The windows and the doors, it doesn't matter if you have battened them up or what, any little space that water will come in.
Speaking with CNC3 News from his storm-ravaged community in the central parish of Manchester, Crooks struggled to find words to describe the ordeal that unfolded as the Category 5 hurricane roared through Jamaica with lashing rains and ferocious winds.
Over the media, we heard about 3 deaths. Talk about devastation. You're talking about Black River. You're talking about the west side of the island, Montego Bay, the airport, Cornwall Regional Hospital, the Santa Cruz, the Black River Police Hospital, the Black River Hospital. It's just devastation.
As fear gripped households, he and his family huddled in prayer.
I'm still grateful for life. My family, even though we have not heard from a few of our family members in Montego Bay and St. Elizabeth, we're going to check on them. I heard the minister said that those who was not affected, if we can go and help the western side of the island.
Willing and ready to lend a helping hand is the president of the UE Mona Trinidad and Tobago Student Association. Brianna Bethel says with the worst behind them, students from TNT are rallying behind affected people.
If I can, I would actually love to help. And I saw a couple of people asking for if they had like the volunteer forms.
Across Jamaica, Hurricane Melissa left a trail of devastation, flattened and submerged homes, downed power lines and entire communities cut off by floodwaters. Rescue and recovery operations are now underway with regional partners mobilizing to assist. Here at home, Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander confirms that Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has instructed officials to extend immediate support.
She says whatever our Caribbean neighbors need and we can provide, we will provide it.
He says the first shipment of aid items is expected to depart for Jamaica tomorrow and that members of the Defence Force are standing by. Meanwhile, Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Sean Sober says government was also assessing a needs list to provide priority assistance.
Yes, so that's what took place yesterday. You know, so the most we can do, and you heard what our Prime Minister, the Minister said, the Prime Minister said, whatever we can do to help, let's do it. So one of the things we're going to do as well is to pray and ask God to give them strength to stand and to, you know, go through this period of crisis in their country. And, you know, it's very devastating. It was a devastating situation and still remains that way. But we are, you know, we are grateful for life again. And for our viewers, I just want to announce that our YouTube station is back up. I know last night it was taken down for whatever reason. Not last night, but on Tuesday it was taken down, but we managed to get it back up. So those of you who are custom viewing us on YouTube, you can go back to YouTube. We are there, okay? Yes. Yes, Hadassa, girl.
Yeah, I really feel really speechless about all of this. I really want to commend the Prime Minister for her response because the thing about it is there's no obligation. I really want to stress that. But I remember in 2017 when Hurricane Maria devastated Dominica, and Kid Rowley was so slow to respond, and he made some type of outlandish response about, oh, Trinidad and Tobago is not the savior of all. And it's only after we, the citizens, raised our voices and there was a lot of outcry and backlash that he then sent aid, and then he allowed some of, I think it's Dominican children, to come here while they recovered. But I can't stress the difference in the responses between the two leaders, and I think that makes all the difference in terms of leadership. So I really want to commend our Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar for the way that she has responded to this so quickly, so hastily. And I was just thinking that the destruction that happened in Jamaica, it looks like it was decades of progress that has been undone. It is going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot, all of our support for them to get back on their feet again. People said it was so terrifying. The flood waters was so high, and when you think about it, as bad as the devastation was, they only had that. Not to say that any debt is acceptable, but it could have been a lot worse. So we thank God for that. And yeah, we're just going to continue to keep them in our prayers and continue to support them. Those were just some of the things that were
definitely
going through my mind.
And you know what? We can never compare the Rottweiler with our Honorable Prime Minister.
Yeah.
He always appeared to be heartless, always appear, and not just appear, but he is, in my opinion, a very heartless person. He's about himself, maybe his family, and who supports him, whatever that is. You cannot put him and our Honorable Prime Minister in the same space when it comes to compassion and having love for people, being genuine. Not our Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, SC, MP. We can't. I could never have her in my thoughts together with this other person's, those two other prime ministers that we had before, never, never, never. She looks out for her people, and while she's doing that, don't think that because some people saying we need help in Trinidad and they're sending, yes, because that is what we have to do. In the absence of what you even don't have, in little, little is much when God is in it, and she always would say put God in front and walk behind. And she know the principle for receiving is giving. And when you give, good things is going to come back to us. So I am supporting her 1000%. Even in our time of crisis for some people, that she is still without hesitation. She ain't taking a whole week or waiting for people to start to frown because this, that. No. She called out everybody and she decided, let's send to Jamaica. And that's the kind of prime minister, that's the kind of woman we are dealing with. A woman who is not afraid, a woman who is not intimidated by anyone, a woman who doesn't carry any hatred. You would do her so many things, you would say things about her, and she would forgive you and continue to move out. That is what we are talking about. A woman who understands the humility within her. She have a heart of gold. She don't care whether you bad talk or whatever you would have done. Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, our Honorable Prime Minister, will never turn her back on people who have need. She would never do that, whether it's in Trinidad and Tobago or any other country. And Hadassa talk about the other countries in CARICOM who say she don't care about that. All she know is that people is in need, people is hurting, and she is going to do whatever to help her. And that's the kind of prime minister we are fortunate and blessed to have in Trinidad and Tobago. And we will continue, I will continue to support her. And those of us who have sense, we will continue to support this woman and continue to pray for her, our Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. That's just it.
Indeed. I mean, we're definitely under a very different regime because look how fast the response has been. In one day, they were able to turn that around and mobilize the amount of support and pack all those containers. That is truly, truly commendable. And she's doing this while in Venezuela, they are drawing devil horns on her head and calling her persona non grata. And we have the opposition leader, Penelope Beckel, sitting down with the Venezuelan ambassador and things like that. All these things that are definitely a stab in the back. And she's still rising to the occasion. She is still not being deterred by these things. I mean, I feel at this point, all we can expect from Penelope Beckles is disappointment. But that aside, um, the way that she has handled herself through all of this with grace, truly commendable.
And when you start talking about Venezuela, our prime minister is not bothered about them. If a storm were to blow away Venezuela tomorrow, she would move with the same hesitation to help the people because they are people. She sees people as people. Penny and the propaganda national movement, together with the Venezuelans, they know that because they cannot bully our prime minister and the people of Trinidad and Tobago, they are hurt. And I keep saying, Venezuelan prime minister or president and vice presidents and whoever, they are targeting our prime minister because they believe what Dr. Rowley and they would have told them, that we have a weak woman in the form of Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, but they're wrong. They had it wrong. They think she don't have time with those propaganda. The PNM is going to continue to do things to try to destabilize Trinidad and Tobago. But I am saying, and you know what? Our Prime Minister have some strong, steady ministers with her. And you might be surprised that even when they are shaking, she stands strong. And she said it, you know, when she came back into power. Watch me and feel this little woman this time around is not going to be making joke. I put it in my own words. Is not going to take no foolishness from anybody. And I am supporting that. They're dealing with a woman who is not just strong physically, but mentally, spiritually, and otherwise. This woman, intelligently, she is strong. She's a fighter, okay? And not a fighter for herself, you know. She is a fighter for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And who cannot see that by now, then you all need to go and get baptized, or go and renew your mind, or go and do something. This woman is for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I had the pleasure of meeting one of her ministers, and you know, a lot of people would have a lot of things to say about him. Minister Barry Padarat. He is as little as our Prime Minister in size, but is as powerful, strong, intelligent, bright. And I'm not saying he's the only one, but just being in the presence of these people, you get that vibes, that, you know, that energy that they're working with to make sure that Trinidad and Tobago become once again what it's supposed to be. And I don't even want to say once again, because I think they're going to take this country to another level that the citizens have never seen. If you think that they're just playing, no, they're not just playing. And I say hats off to all the ministers, Khadijah Amin, and you know, the Minister of Security, all the ministers who stand, Dr. Monilal, and all the others. They have been standing, you know, the PNM, the Propaganda National Party, tried to make a big thing to say that Dr. Monilal and they were having problems, and as though the party was having problems with the Prime Minister. And it was all over surfacing. And you know what, when I saw it, I said that could never be true. That could never be true. And before long, you saw that it was fake. They are trying all in their power, together with their cohorts, to try to destabilize the party, the government, and Trinidad and Tobago citizens. But I'm saying, citizens, you all open your eyes, open up your ears to hear, and do not take bait from this propaganda national movement. That's what they are, because they are not for the people. That is not no people national movement. It is a propaganda national movement. That's what they are about. Everything they are doing is to try to destabilize this country. But it will not happen. As God is above, and as people like myself and others are alive and praying for our Prime Minister and praying for our ministers, standing with them, it will not happen. And those of you who praying against us, praying against the government, it's going down the drain, because the Bible said that you shall not waste your prayer. You mustn't waste your prayer on foolishness. Pray for your government. Pray hood, whether you like your government or not, because whatever goes in the negative will affect every one of you. And you know what, Hadassa? It makes me believe that this is a sign that the propaganda national movement, they don't like the people of Trinidad and Tobago, because when they do what they do, everybody is going to be affected. Even some of them, unless the business so fixed that they don't even care, they could take a plane and go somewhere else. But if they really care about the people of Trinidad and Tobago, they will not be encouraging what they are encouraging. But they don't care. And I hope the people would see this for themselves, that the opposition, they do not like. Come on, they were there for 10 years and they had a lot of you under pressure. This is the whole reason why a lot of you run out and voted for the United National Congress. This is why a lot of you did not even vote to ensure that they do not go back there. But I am saying to you all, keep steady, keep focused, keep praying for our government. Things is going to change. It is just 6 months we have been here. And it's not that we have been here and they got here with things, you know, in a good position. Every ministry, every agency, everything that pertains to government is in a mess, a total mess. This is why the Imsbert and them could have said where they're getting, and they were asking the question, where she getting the money, because they knew what they did. So they couldn't believe that she would be able to turn this economy around, because they knew what they did. And now they're trying even harder to see if we can fall. They have the imps and them in position still in the government. Even though the UNC have won, plenty of them are there and they're doing everything in their power. But I say in the name of Jesus the Christ, it will not prevail over our land because every one of us is going to feel it. And it will not prevail. We cover our Prime Minister under the blood of Jesus. It will not happen.
Indeed. And the thing about it is, it's really important to hold steady because this afternoon I saw um, a newspaper article saying that Maduro has already switched his tone. He's saying, "Let us unite for peace." Maduro calls on Trinidad and Tobago to resist U.S. war in the Caribbean. President Nicolas Maduro has called on the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to help prevent what he described as U.S. efforts to start a war in the Caribbean. He is calling for peace after riling up his citizens, after he has had Russian aircrafts land in his country carrying missiles and artillery and things like that. Um, but we need to stand firm. We need to stand strong. Kamala Prasad said that she will not be intimidated, and it's very important for us not to be distracted by what the PNM is doing. I highly expect that the activity, the American vessels in Caribbean waters has disrupted a lot of the narco trade that a lot of businessmen in Trinidad and Tobago have and have fostered and really feeling it now. And I believe a lot of it was facilitated by just poor policy, by openers and routes and things like that. So it all kind of go there fighting for they have lost or they are fighting for the maintenance of the status quo, right? And like I said before, it is really just like a cockroach that you spray with Bob. They're just flaring up, they're just flaring up, and they're just flaring up. There are so many instances where we have seen that it was only corruption that was fueling them. They were not taking care of the needs of the people. They did not care about education, regardless of what Nyan Gatsby Dolly says. They did not care about health, regardless of what Terence Dial Singh said. They did not care about energy, save for doing underhanded business with Maduro, regardless of what Stuart Young says. And the evidence is the country that we have now, which they have left at the feet of Kamala Persad to put back together again. So let us not forget why it is that we have voted this way and why it is we are here today.
Really and indeed. But the truth is, Maduro thought, based on what the PNM would have told him, that when they behave like that, they would have been able, together with the PNM, to destabilize this country. That was it, but they realized that our prime minister, whatever the former prime ministers would have told Maduro, when we do this, our prime minister would fold in. Our prime minister and her team, will back down, right? But they realize that our prime minister is not backing down. They realize that we are not playing with them. We are not intimidated by them. So you know what? They had no choice. He had no choice to say what he said now and now turn to the US because there was nothing. Our prime minister never said anything in the negative to them. She never did anything wrong, right? But the PNM, the propaganda national movement, made them believe that when they say what they say and they do what they do, they would be able to cause intimidation. But they had it wrong. We will not be intimidated. As a matter of fact, at my last episode, I said, you should call for all your citizens back to Venezuela. So you heard now, I think it is the National Security Minister talking some nonsense about why we cannot send back and whatever. But all the illegals want, let them go back. Venezuela pushes back on TNT deportation. Well, we push in, we want them back in their country. I don't care what
Imagine
they have.
that.
All you go back to all your country. You understand?
Imagine
now
that.
you realize. Now you realize that we are decent people. Our prime minister is one of care and compassion. And she didn't fold in. She was not intimidated by them because he and Elsie felt that when they say what they said, our prime minister would have, fold her legs and hands together and say, oh gosh, we're afraid. Let us stay quiet. Let us give them. No, my prime minister is not about folding in. She is as strong as a lion and she will not be intimidated. So now the Venezuelans, they come out to say, is the U.S. All kind of markings and all kind of drawings and placards they have. Hello, you all go to hell with that. My prime minister is not intimidated by none of you, and I don't care. And she still have a good heart. If anything should happen to Venezuela, she would still run to say she helping them. Listen, the propaganda national movement and them, Venezuelans, they failed. They thought they could have destabilized this country and create a problem so that they can come and take over. But it didn't happen. God is not sleeping. He is alive and he's well and he's sane. And we all are praying. There are many who is for our prime minister than is against her. And she needs to know and understand that. Don't be intimidated by none of them. That is why now he have to come and say, let's unite and come together. Maduro rocks so.
Indeed, Esther, imagine that after everything that they have said, they have been antagonizing us. Delcy have been saying terrible, horrible things about the prime minister and her government. And now all of a sudden they want to push back on the idea of us carrying out mass deportations. So all of a sudden you all recognize that we have some type of value. It does not make any sense. And Venezuelans have come here in droves. And both the United National Congress and PNM administrations have been very partial to the influx of Venezuelan migrants, much to the chagrin of many Trinbagonians. A lot of people in Trinidad and Tobago are not happy about it. But for the most part, the Venezuelans that have come here, they have been given permission to work, right? So that they could earn a living. And a lot of them have started businesses. They are sending their children to school. And when they are sick, they go and they enjoy the free healthcare that we have here. And whatever our resources that we have, they can participate in it because they are here, right? And they have the nerve to say those things. And what was really sad to me is like the people in Venezuela have been under so much strain for the last 13 years, right? And yet still they are so twisted in their minds. Maduro has been able to convince them that our prime minister is the enemy. It reminds me so much of what we have endured under PNM, right? That the PNM could be doing people the worst, and yet they can't seem to see it and they can't seem to understand it, right? So it seems as though Venezuelan citizens as well seem to also be victims of propaganda, right? And after a while, people seem to have some type of what is called it, Stockholm syndrome, where you fall in love with the person who has kidnapped you and doing you all kind of horrible things, right? But that aside, it does not change the fact that Trinidad and Tobago is very, very valuable. The same thing has been happening in Guyana as well. The Guyanese people have been complaining about the influx of Venezuela there and the strain on their resources and things like that. And if in any moment the president of Guyana and the prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago says no more, it will be a very sad day for Venezuelans. For the most part, they want to come here and they want to have a life and they want to escape the hardships that has happened since Maduro has been in power. So they really, really need to take it down, right? All of this pointing fingers is not making any sense at all.
Well, he came to his senses because he did say for us to unite now. Well, listen, the Maduro government and the propaganda national movement are in the same boat. They are in the same boat to fool people and to have people like slaves, okay? That is what they're all about. If the propaganda national movement could have done what he did in Venezuela and steal the election, definitely they would have done it here, but they couldn't get through this time because people was fed up of them, and they had some sense. People, Trinidadians don't allow these things to happen all the time. Listen to me, people. I know it have some of you who want to call in because we get into this. 782-6145. The number to call is 782-6145. If you have a comment or if there's something that you would like to say or some concern or just to encourage us, yes, this is the time for you to do that while we continue to talk. Because listen, we are not backing down. And I love that my Prime Minister is a strong woman, you know, who could walk, any one of them in the PNM could put their foot in her shoes? Never. It might be bigger and it can't fit. You understand? Penny could ever put her foot in our Prime Minister's shoes. I think they're getting ready to throw Penny out because to me she's a disgrace. She's a disgrace to their own party. She's a disgrace to this country. I feel so bad as a woman. I am ashamed of her and her action. I thought she would have gone there and make some kind of difference, but no. Instead of that, you're operating worse than your successors. Man, now is the time to call people. If you're looking and you want to call in, now is the time to do that. And yes, we have a caller. Good night, this is Real Talk Corner.
Yeah, good night. This is when I support Jason Mitchell on the chat.
Okay, Jason.
Yeah.
Nice to have you.
Nice to be here. Continue with the great information. I'm glad the program is always be live, you know, so people could actually see and hear and know
Yes.
the truth. Yes. So, you know, keep
Yes,
up the good work.
we will. By God's grace, we will. Thank you so much for calling, Jason. We appreciate
Pick
you.
up Jason. I always see him on the comments.
Right. Yes, they think that this PNM, this propaganda national movement think that the people foolish. There are some who might be, but eventually they will come to their senses. Yeah, they would come to their senses because they would see for themselves that our Prime Minister is a performer. She don't just talk. Them talk for 9 long years and had the people suffering. Let's see by a year and 2 and see what's going to be happening here in this country. We would never recognize this country again. It will never be the same because it will be progress after progress, progress after progress, because that is what she's all about. They have the people stifling, but eventually they must come to their sense. A lot of them is going to come to their senses because the PNM, it's time, and I told them already, you know, it's time to bury them for good. They're wasteless, they're useless. We have no use for the PNM, the party called PNM, and I'm not talking about the people alone, you know, because it have good people in the PNM, but like you say, Hadassa, they are programmed to just go through the sufferings and be happy with it. They don't know what it is to be set free and to live a better life. When our Prime Minister talked about grass cutter, everybody jump up. Oh, yes. Good night, good night. Welcome to Real Talk Corner.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
How are you all?
We are good. How are you doing?
I am good. Oh, God, I listen to you all 50 times per week. Every time I know you're on.
Yes.
And you're all doing a marvelous job.
Thank you.
I wish it had just 6 more people like you all to do different things, you know.
Don't worry, we might just get other people joining. It have others who do talk, you know, but we are real. We give it to them real. We're not compromising. Too much wickedness.
That is true, and you're all doing a very good job. Keep it up.
Thanly you so much, sir.
I'll meet you all one of these good days live. Just to see
One day you will.
Yeah, we should have a live show.
Last time I called a radio station in next and lady person.
Right, right.
Just to see you all, to congratulate you all, you know, direct.
All right, so one day we probably would have a live show and invite all of our supporters to come into that one place, and we'll have a good time. Maybe a family day or something. Real Talk may just have. All right?
Kumar is the name. Kumar is the name.
Kumar.
Next time that keep calling you all.
All right, Kumar. Thanks again. Thanks for calling. Yes, we will. We definitely will. All right, bye. People are not stupid. The people seeing and the understanding, and we will continue to talk. We will continue to talk the truth and real. We're going to continue to be real. That is why it is called Real Talk. That's
Yeah, and if you need to be reminded of the type of corruption and eater foodness and taking care of their own that was happening under the PNM, why it is they're making so much noise now because of what they have lost, which is access to the treasury. I have a clip that I want to play for you guys.
They give the same CPEP MP, the same couldn't get into law school MP. That wasn't enough for one person. You know what they did? They gave him a HCC house too. He had no wife, he had no family. Me and him know if you'd ever have a wife. So ask Kareem Marcel if this is what being in government is about. The PNM is gone because the PNM is corrupt. So imagine the PNM, we're talking about Edinburgh 500 and differently able. Yes, people will get houses and people will be loved and respected and given an opportunity to uplift themselves. Not this PNM disgrace. So not only he get squeezed in law school where he didn't deserve to be, so he could earn money, his CPEP contract to cut grass now too, and then get a house while single mothers and families are begging for housing. That is PNM, and the PNM is gone and shall never return. God will not do Trinidad and Tobago that.
Indeed. So if you ever wonder why Kareem Marcel, his mouth does be so big in the parliament, that is why. He is literally singing for his supper. Back to you, Esther.
To tell me I sing in for my supper. Well, I sing in for everything, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and supper. And I ain't get no house. I ain't get no what? Contract. I ain't get all of that.
You
That is why
understand?
they did stand up. He could have stand up and say with his disrespectful self, talk about our prime minister, a woman who could be his grandmother, old enough to be
Yeah.
his grandmother. It's as though he wasn't taught
Calling
any
for
kind
war.
of moral and values. You don't want to call
Crazy.
our prime minister all kind of name. Boy, this is why they just get on so because of what they just get. You understand?
And
That is that
and
that
I
is
was really hoping he had gotten to law school by merit, only to find out he get chuck in there and he didn't even have the qualifications to be there. That is why when he
you
stand up and talk,
understand?
it don't make no sense.
That is the propaganda national movement. That's how they do it in every establishment. You have people who can't even spell the name properly and they're big position. Hello. Now some of them complaining, right? That our prime minister this and that, but she ain't putting no set of dunce on no board and no set of dunce. You understand? She put in people who are capable. It doesn't mean that everybody have a degree. She wouldn't do that because it have some people who have good sense, but under the propaganda national movement, some of them don't even have sense. They don't have education and they don't even have sense. So what they were doing there, only saying yes and rubber stamping everything. Yes, father. Yes, papa. Yes, whatever. Because they getting fixed up. Nothing is wrong with all of that, you know. This is politics and we understand that. But oh gosh, don't come out here now and play you talking about our prime minister in that way. Talk about Rowley. Talk about the next one. That is what you need to do. Disrespectful in the parliament because you lost your bread and your butter. Oh, come on, you don't think you had enough? I could never forget these people. I will never forget these people and teach my children and grandchildren never to dip their finger in ink for the propaganda
Never
national
again.
movement. Never.
Never again. I mean, I don't think they're coming back, yeah? There is no chance, what do you call it? A snowball's chance in hell. It's not going to happen, right? But of course, they have to put up a brave front. They have to pretend as if they are there to represent the people's interests when they have never done so, right? We still have, after the disgrace of the last administration, they still had the nerve to stick people like Faris Al Rari in the Senate, right? And he is still up to this day, isn't that so? Earning how much ever $1 million a month with all his rental properties. I really hope that this government does something about that, because it is so disgraceful at the level of riches that they have been able to eke out of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, the regular schmegular taxpayer, right? And they still have the audacity to be saying all kind of nonsense in the parliament, like as if they have not suffered us enough, as if they have not done enough damage. I would never get over that.
I am so tired of even trying to think about the propaganda national movement. But every time you tell yourself you would forget, they come up with some stupidness.
Yeah.
You understand? Somebody sent me a picture with one of the former minister with a kitchen, he stand up with his short pants. The one who tell them they can't eat no
Yes, Marvelous
macaroni
Marvin.
pie. Macaroni pie and callaloo. What they want them to eat, go and eat grass. You understand why they enjoy themselves. And I mean for position, based on what you're doing, you would be in a comfortable position. But all you're telling people under the hardship that they had to go through, you can't eat no macaroni pie. You mightn't be able to eat that. What they want them to eat, salt and grass. Go get green fig and boil it with salt. Or if they don't have salt, put water. And all you're happy to do that and see people suffering. You understand? And then now want to come and talk. All you didn't do nothing for this country. What all
They
you
did
did and nothing
nothing.
is the
They did
same.
nothing.
And want to talk
Yeah.
about my prime minister. Don't talk about my prime minister. Don't put her name in all
Yeah.
your dirty mouth. I ain't want to get
Yeah.
on bad, eh? I ain't want to get on
Yeah.
bad. I don't want to get on
And they
bad.
want to they want to be
I don't want to
critical
get on bad.
of every single initiative, right? This is the first time in the history of our country that we had a job recruitment drive, right? To fill 20,000 vacancies that were in different ministries, giving people an opportunity to get permanent employment with insurance and NIS and all those protections that are needed, as opposed to just contract jobs that do not give you those things. That was magnanimous. And to hear that Minister Swaratting talk about the fact that they're going to have a second drive with 50,000 jobs, that is unprecedented in Trinidad and Tobago. That is keeping a promise to young people who you have told them, go and get your education and do the right thing and live upright. And at the end of that, we will have a job for you. That is promises being fulfilled, right? And the PNM, who has done no such thing, have all the negative things to say, riling up their base, poking holes in all the initiative, poking holes in all the ideas, as though they have ever had an idea in life. It is, all of it is just really ridiculous, you know. But the thing about it is, the more they talk, the more ridiculous they look, because I don't know if they are recognizing that they are outpaced, they are outnumbered, they are lightweight and we are in the heavyweight division, right? There's nothing that they can do to make the errors and the stumblings and the transgressions of the last 10 years look as though that was help, that they were actually helping people, right? There is no way that you can compare that administration with what we have now. And I totally agree with Esther that in the next 5 years, this country is going to be so transformed. It has already been happening by the introduction of the payment company, where you don't have to go in an office and line up to pay for things, and you could just go online and get things done with the use of AI and the integration of technology, which is where we used to be. But they did not want these things, because when you have technology, when you're using computers, there's a paper trail, and all they wanted to do was steal the money without being accountable. But that will no longer happen anymore. Our government offices, the way that we do things, are going to be totally revolutionized, and this country is going to be on the up and up for the first time since 1962.
You said it all, girl. That was a mouthful. But let me start with the job, right? They had to close off the job because the 20,000, it was overwhelming. People were registering, people were lining up here, no man, and they want to talk. It's
Yes.
those jobs. Listen, people who haven't been working for years, we ain't talking about people who
Yes.
just lost job. They wanted to believe, they make people believe that is the CPF workers, what they expect when they say no. It had people there who haven't had a job for 7 years, who have not been
Yeah.
able to get a job. You understand? Not only did the minister talk about having a 50,000 job drive, said that the what you call the school in Shagaramas, the
The hotel school.
the hotel school, right? The
Yes.
hotel school is going to be reopened. I could never forget. I did did do courses there. That was a school that all of us, many of us, went to be able to cook how we cooking now, get our certificate. Listen,
Yes.
the things, if you people cannot see and cannot understand that this government under our Honorable Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bisesa SCMP is working for us and working for every citizen, then you all better off, I can't say that, you all better stay quiet. That's all. Stay quiet. Stay quiet and wait and see what is going to happen. All right? Don't talk before time. Wait and see what is going to happen. And after that, then you all could talk. Next 2 years, or you come again and tell us what you think about this honorable woman that is our Prime Minister. Oh gosh, if we can't see it yet, people are under pressure. People call me all the time, they're under pressure. You understand? And it didn't happen just recently. Long before we had an election, people are under pressure. You see this time coming around, it's hampers upon hampers I just be doing. And anybody on this life and you want to join and you want to be able to contribute to the hamper, I don't want your money. What I want is you buy stuff that you think people would need in this season that is coming. I don't celebrate Christmas. Let me make it clear. Because I want nobody to say, oh, I thought she does. I don't. But it is a season where a lot of people look to feel in a particular way. Feel the season and whatever. So what I do is I prepare hampers and I give to people. All right, so at least their children could have some food on their table. They could have something to make them feel a little better. And I am certain that our Prime Minister is going to have a drive and she's going to ask all her MPs to do things for their constituency to help. So we are on that road, and look at this. Time has gone. Yeah? But wow. I just want people to remember what they went through for the last 10 years under the propaganda national movement. Don't forget it. And as you go forward, just itemize the thing. Write it down as something start to happen. And we are here to remind you all, because I am saying the PNM must never see the powers of corridors again in a very, very long time, unless the UNC members and MPs and stuff stop doing their work. And they can't stop under our Prime Minister. They can't stop because she will deal with them. She will deal with them. They have to serve the people. Remember, that's what she say all the time, you know. Serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. Put God in front and walk behind. Okay? And you see it for yourself. You think you would have ever seen the former 2 prime ministers in her position now, where she is in these pictures, making sure that things is prepared to send off to Jamaica? Never you would have seen that. Never. So we are grateful. Please, people, let us continue to pray for our Prime Minister. Lift her up in your prayer. Morning, noon, and night. Lift her up in your prayer that God will sustain her. Her body will be strengthened. Her mind will continue to work as brilliantly as it does. And that God is just going to give her more and more vision to take this country out of the dungeon that it is in. I love you all. God, I love you all, people. Just like our Prime Minister. No, I ain't think I love all you like my Prime Minister love all you. Sorry. And some of you all, she have a big heart with gold in it. I ain't have that. But you know what? I love you all. I love you all. She just say, I give you half of my heart and the next half belong. Me ain't saying all of that at all, because I'll be telling a lie. It ain't gonna be truth. But I love you all. I want you all to get some sense, and I want you all to be able to understand the time and season that we're in. But I want to ask you all to love God, because He loves you all unconditionally. Love God with all of your heart, with all of your strength, with all of your might. And trust Him that things is going to work out on your behalf. If you're going through a situation, know that God is able through Jesus Christ to help you. Or through whoever you feel you want to say whatever. I know it is through Jesus Christ for me. But people, let us stand together. Let us stick together. Whether you are a supporter of the PNM or a supporter of the UNC, let us come together, because it's going to work out for all of us. When UNC win, everybody is going to win. All right? So let us continue to be who God wants us to be. We have said it. You heard it. It's up to you to make the decisions, to listen and put 2 and 2 together and see what is nonsense and what is good. All right, until, not tomorrow, we're not going to be on tomorrow, but until next week, Thursday, because on Tuesday, my auntie is going to be cremated, so we wouldn't have a live show tomorrow, nor Tuesday, remember that. But we probably might do a rerun or something. I don't know what my producers are going to do. But remember, tomorrow, Friday, no show. And Tuesday, no show, because I have to take care of what is happening with my aunt. All right? It's going to be a sad day for me. Keep me in your prayer. But we're definitely going to be on Thursday and Friday of next week. Okay? Have a wonderful night and have a safe week, balance of the week, weekend. You all be safe. Take care. Make sure and still, look over your shoulders, because some of the criminals are still out there. So do not be blindfolded. All right, love you guys. Bye.
Bye.